The year was 1921. The satirical magazine known as Judge featured what is now known as the first expectation versus reality meme in history. Well, technically speaking at least. There could be a cave somewhere with writing on the wall like, what caveman think versus what caveman is. And we would never know. Also, if you're curious what audio sounded like back then, Judge was a weekly satirical magazine published in the United States from 1881 to 1947. It had launched by artists who had seceded from its rival magazine, Puck. Puck was a humor-based magazine that was created in 1871. Puck covered a variety of issues such as presidential politics, the Tammany Hall Political Society, and other social issues of the late 19th century by way of colorful cartoons. The magazine itself was originally published in German and then later transitioned to English in 1877. The creator was Joseph Keppler, an Austrian-born cartoonist who had a massive impact on the growth of satirical cartoons in the United States. Keppler was born in Vienna, Austria in 1838. Kepler's parents owned a bakery, and during his childhood, it's believed that his talent manifested by decorating cakes. He later died in New York City at the age of 56 in 1894. Puck magazine and Judge magazine are integral to the story, I assure you. The founders of Judge magazine included cartoonist James Albert Wales, who after one Google search quickly became the guy we don't talk about. The other two founders were publisher Frank Tousey, one of the top 5 publishers of dime novels in the late 1800s to early 1900s, and author George H. Jessop, an Irish playwright/novelist. Now I guess these two are more enigma than human since I can't really find a picture of them.
My mind are an enigma.
Judge was printed during the Long Depression. During this time of economic recession, this magazine and other entertainment outlets of the time helped people emotionally in a time of incredibly low morale. The magazine itself was 16 pages long, and while not exactly failing in sales, it was obvious that its competition, Puck, was the dominant force. After a few years struggling with an uphill battle against Puck, Judge would soon overtake its competitor with the help of William J. Arkell, a man so wealthy he could easily buy Twitter, Facebook, and 3 whole NFTs just to flex. Oh my God! Arkell also being on the long list of enigmas. Arkell purchased Judge in the mid-1880s, changing the magazine forever. Now, how did Judge become more popular after Arkell's purchase, I hear you wondering? Well, it could have been Arkell's incredible leadership, charisma, and motivational speeches that can only be described as Braveheart class.
Take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
Now, it's possible that with these factors, Judge's quality and popularity skyrocketed like the funny power level meme. 9,000! That, or Arkell just outright bought off the important members of Puck magazine. That might have had something to do with it, a little bit.
Capitalism!
Being an insanely wealthy man, Arkell used his considerable wealth to buy off, persuade Eugene Zimmerman and Bernhard Gilliam to leave Puck. Are we good? Okay. Arkell also used his Republican connections to attack the Democratic administration of Grover Cleveland. With these factors in play, Judge boomed during the 80s and 90s, surpassing its rival publication and reaching 50,000 in circulation by the early 1890s. Under the editorial leadership of Isaac Gregory, another enigma, apparently, Judge further aligned itself with the Republican Party and supported the candidacy of William McKinley through the use of cartoons. garnering 85,000 in circulation in the mid-1890s, and by 1912, reached over 100,000 in circulation. So basically, in today's speak, Judge achieved the silver play button. Thumbs up to you. However, Judge would soon find itself in steep competition once again, thanks to the efforts and achievements of Harold Ross. Ross was born in Aspen, Colorado in 1892. His parents, George Ross, an immigrant miner, and Ida Martin Ross, a schoolteacher, was forced to leave Aspen when Harold was only 8 years old due to the collapse of silver prices. Over the years, Harold and his family would move from place to place until around 1913, when Harold would drop out of school and run away from home at the age of 13. He moved in with his uncle in Denver, Colorado, and ended up working for the Denver Post. He did eventually return to his family, but not to school, choosing instead to focus on work for various newspaper outlets. By the time Harold was 25, he had worked on 7 different papers and eventually found himself working on Judge magazine as an editor from April 5th to August 2nd in 1924, before using his years of experience to create his own magazine, The New Yorker, in 1925. The success of The New Yorker, along with the Great Depression, put pressure on Judge until 1947, when Judge would release its final edition, putting an end to the magazine entirely. A few years later, Harold Ross would pass away at the age of 59 in 1951. Ross personally edited every issue of the magazine, a whopping 1,399 issues. No jokes here, just a man who obviously found his passion and spent his life doing what he loved. Later in 1953, Judge magazine was resurrected by David N. Laux, who transformed it into a 32-page weekly with light essays ranging from sports to television to cartoons. David also being another infamous enigma, apparently. Because cameras weren't f***ing mainstream! Now, with the background history lesson out of the way, we can dive into the piece de resistance, the meme. Disclaimer ahead. Even though technically it's called a comic, I, D. Bastian, will be calling it a meme. You're welcome. The meme itself was put in the 1921 edition of Judge and published by the University of Iowa. However, the meme was only featured in Judge, not created by it. The creator of the meme was actually the writers for the magazine The Wisconsin Octopus, writers who were clearly ahead of their time. The Wisconsin Octopus was published by the University of Wisconsin between 1919 and 1959. Looking through the University of Wisconsin's library, you're able to view early editions of the magazine, where you're actually able to see this illustration. This comic meme was created in 1919, which technically makes it older than the quote-unquote oldest meme created. So basically, the first expectation versus reality meme was actually this illustration, not this one. So, yeah. There you go. Surface level historian D. Bastian at your service. Also, side note, the BBC tried to bring up a point about the 1921 comic, saying the comic itself is not a meme, but when coupled with the comic from 1919, it then technically fits the bill. Which personally I think is a hot take. Putting a serious spin on a meme is a meme in of itself. I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter. Do you consider this a meme? What is a fresh meme truly? BT dubs, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and more importantly, you just spent 10 minutes listening to a man talk about a picture. Go touch some grass.